Okay, so the next thing we want to do is to put the background on, which in my case was a gradient fading from black to white. So I'm going to just talk you through some of the drawing tools you've got in Flash and some information about the timeline. You can see here we've got a layer created for us called Layer 1, and if you've done any work in Photoshop, the principle is very much the same. You have bits of your design on different layers, and a layer is like a transparency. So I'm going to just double click in that and rename that layer background. And I'm going to pick up one of my drawing tools. I'm going to pick up the rectangle tool. Here is the what we call the fill setting and the stroke setting. The stroke is the path around the outside. I'll just demonstrate that now. So if I drew out a rectangle here, you'd see we've got a rectangle with a yellow fill and a black stroke. And again, you can see the properties for that over here. So I could go about changing the properties of that. If I just go across and select, double click to select, I could change the fill properties, the stroke properties, or I could change the fill properties. I could change the stroke style, so I could perhaps go to a dashed line, perhaps the thickness, and just play around with those settings. Okay, and you can see we can do quite a lot with that. But I don't particularly want those effects. I would like to just draw out a rectangle with a gradient in there. So I'm actually going to take off the stroke, select no stroke, and for the fill I'm going to use the gradients down here. You can see the different gradients that we've got across here. We've got a radial gradient, different kinds of presets, and of course you can put your own kind of gradients on there. I'm just going to use this linear gradient here. Just select that and select my rectangle tool and draw out, just slightly covering my stage, my gradient. Now that doesn't actually go the direction I want, so I'm going to just use my bucket tool and draw. I can draw any angle I like, as you can see, and the longer I draw the line, the longer the fade is from black to white. So I wanted to go from white to black, and I'm just going to use Shift key to hold that absolutely straight. And I've got my fade. I'm quite happy with that. I'm not quite seeing the bottom of the stage here, so I'm just going to come up to this area and just select instead show all from this pull down menu. So it does show all, so we can just see all of the stage. Okay, that is just getting the background on